In this episode, I'm going to be sharing some of my best Instagram marketing strategies and the 3 laws you absolutely must follow if you want to grow your account, use it to generate more leads, customers, and sales, and essentially have it contribute to your overall marketing strategy. You can't afford to not know these rules. Hey there, my name is Erhart, marketing strategist, and welcome to The Marketing Show, where we help you grow your business and generate more leads, customers, and sales. So if you're interested in learning the latest and greatest marketing strategies, tools, tips, tricks, and tactics, well, you may want to consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you never miss a future episode. Alright, let's talk Instagram, because it's still one of the most relevant, popular, and profitable social media networks available for you today when it comes to marketing your business online. I love the platform and use it in pretty much every single one of my clients' accounts, whether we're talking organic strategies or paid strategies where amplifying their content and their promotions through Instagram ads. In fact, I talk so much about Instagram and Instagram advertising and marketing your business on Instagram that sometimes I sound like a bit of an Instagram spokesperson, but really is that powerful a platform, and I wouldn't talk about it this much if it didn't work. But like all things, the devil's in the details, and what you get out of it has a lot to do with what you put in. Now, of course, you're completely free to ignore the rules and break the laws and do whatever you want on Instagram, but there's going to be a penalty for that. And that penalty is going to be a limited reach, way less engagement, and essentially no results from all of your Instagram marketing efforts. So obviously, I'd advise watching this video through to the end and making sure that you understand and implement the laws and the rules and put them to use in your business's marketing campaigns. So with all that said, let's dive right in. And it all starts with law number 1, know the rules. The very first thing that is important to know and to understand when it comes to marketing your business on Instagram is that Instagram, like many of the other social networks, well, the algorithm behind it, which is essentially the scientific mathematic equation that decides what content gets promoted and what gets shown and how it's distributed and so on, well, the algorithm is what's in charge of your content and of your marketing strategy. This is incredibly important to understand because it really doesn't matter just how pretty and how valuable and how entertaining your content is if nobody can find it. I say this all the time, but it's really worth repeating here. The best product and the best service are not the ones that win. Rather, it's the ones with the best marketing. You can disagree with this statement, you can think it's unfair, and in many ways it is unfair, but that's the way the world works. So rather than fighting it and never making any sales, well, it makes a lot more sense to understand the rules and simply play by them and obey them and follow them, and you're gonna get way more bang for your marketing buck. Alright, so now that you understand that the algorithm is what's in charge when it comes to marketing your business on Instagram, well, the next point then is really trying to figure out what the algorithm wants so you can give it more of that, so it in turn is going to reward you with more of what you want. So what does the algorithm want? Fortunately, the answer is really simple. The Instagram algorithm, just like the Facebook algorithm and the YouTube algorithm and pretty much every other social media network's algorithms, well, what they really want is more people to spend more time on their platform. That's it. Because more people spending more time on their platform means more users, more revenue, more attention, and more control. Now here's the kicker, and where so many other pieces of Instagram marketing advice go so wrong, and that's failing to understand that the algorithm is always changing, and is always going to change and continue to evolve and adapt and to sort of adjust to changes in user behavior and the goals of the company itself, in this case Instagram, and what they're trying to achieve. What all this means is that it's incredibly important to spend some time and figure out what type of content is resonating for other people, for competitors, for colleagues, for big name businesses and small creators, and really analyzing and trying to figure out what's working and what's not, so you can do more of what's working and way less of what's not. It also pays to pay attention to what parts and what features of the platform Instagram's promoting at any certain date or time. Basically, are they giving expanded reach to Instagram Live? Or are they really trying to promote IGTV? Or are they favoring story over feed? Or however that works, and it's going to continue to change and evolve, which is why your strategy is also going to need to continue to change and evolve if you want to have success on the platform. Alright, the other part of the rules that you really need to understand, and forgive me because this part is incredibly boring, but you really need to understand the Instagram terms of service.
You can't impersonate others or provide us with accurate and up-to-date information. You can't violate or help or encourage others to violate these terms or censor. You can't do anything.
Yeah, I know, it's really boring. But it's also incredibly important because in the terms of service, they're going to lay out exactly what you can post and what you can't post, what kind of content they really don't want to see, and what kind of content is going to get your account banned or shut down. An important point to understand is that Instagram is owned by Facebook, and over the last year and essentially 18 months, we've seen a lot more Facebook ad accounts getting ads banned and accounts shut down altogether simply because they've failed to comply with more stringent and strict Facebook terms of service. This part's no joke, and it's actually pretty serious, especially if a large portion of your traffic and of your revenue is being generated by these platforms, which means it really does make sense to learn the rules and play by them. Some other rules to understand is that hashtags are still very important, so make sure to do proper research and include the right ones in your posts, as well as creating visually appealing and really nicely designed posts and stories because, again, Instagram is a very visual platform. And of course, all of the basic marketing principles still apply here, like doing proper target market research, finding the right kind of content that's going to be relevant and resonate with them, and creating more of that. And like I've already mentioned, the algorithm is going to continue to change and adapt and evolve, and what works today may not necessarily work as well tomorrow, which is why it's important to watch videos like this one and some others that I'm going to make sure to link up right at the end of this video. Okay, and that brings us nicely into law number 2, play by the rules. Alright, this one's a bit of a pet peeve of mine, because I've simply seen too many people advising too many really bad tactical moves, and essentially strategies that are not only going to hurt your Instagram growth, but are also going to hurt your business overall. You see, by far the best strategy, pretty much always, is to follow proven principles, abide by the terms of service, and respect that, in the end, it's the user and the customer and the audience that you're trying to reach, well, they're the ones that you really want to be designing your marketing for. This means really trying to avoid those sleazy tactics and spam-like methods like follow-unfollow, using bots that just comment the exact same thing on pretty much everybody's posts, copy and pasting and DMing absolutely everybody with the same sales pitch time and time again, or pretty much any other tactic that's going to violate Instagram's terms of service and makes you look bad as a business. Now, the flip side, of course, of breaking all the rules is, of course, following the rules and giving Instagram more of what they want. Not just for being a goody two-shoes brown-noser and someone who tries to make Instagram happy just for the sake of making Instagram happy, but rather making Instagram happy so they'll reward you in return, which is kind of why you're on the platform in the first place, right? This means understanding and really appreciating the kind of content that users are resonating with and getting more engagement, because that's the kind of content that Instagram is going to reward you for. Remember, we already talked about how the algorithm wants to keep people on the platform as long as possible. So this means really understanding user behavior and consumer behavior and trying to implement some of those strategies into your content itself. So for example, what's working right now is obviously coming up with more and more interesting content, but also creating longer captions that are going to encourage people to read a little more and spend a little more time. Video is also a great way because, again, it encourages people to spend more time consuming the video, and of course, engaging with your commenters and starting that kind of conversation, which again, in turn, is going to lead to more people spending more time on the platform. All good things. This strategy is basically how I graduated. All I really had to do is figure out exactly what the teacher wanted, and then I would do that. There's no need to reinvent the wheel and try to figure out, oh, what do they want and what am I going to have to create? Because they've already pretty much told you by showing you what other people are doing and how they're being rewarded. It's an amazing system, and all you really need to do is look for it. Alright, and that moves us on to law number 3, break the rules. For all the rebels and contrarians out there, this one's for you. I can hear you saying, finally, time to take some power back and fight against the powers that be in order to make Instagram the way that I want to make Instagram. Well, kinda. You see, all those previous points we just covered, they're still really relevant, really important. After all, you do need to know the rules and you need to follow the rules, at least if you want to be rewarded. That said, there is going to come a point and a time where there's going to be a priority shift away from Instagram and more towards you and your unique situation and your business. You see, at the end of the day, what's most important for you and your business is doing what's right for you and your business. This means that Instagram can come out with all sorts of different rules and best practices and suggestions, and of course there are terms of service that you're going to want to familiarize yourself with and follow, but at the end of the day, it's about doing what's right for you and your business and your audience that really matters. I've seen way too many people build these massive followings of people that are just wrong for their business, people that are never going to buy from them, people that are really not their ideal customers and clients, and essentially all they're doing is building these vanity metrics of followers and likes and comments and shares, but they aren't contributing to the bottom line of their business. Also, the odds are good that because you're here watching this video now, you've probably seen some other Instagram marketing videos, giving all sorts of different ideas and strategies and tactics and best practices. And what's important to understand is that all of those are probably great and relevant, but at the end of the day, they are just ideas and strategies and best practices. And best practices don't always work and need to be tailored and uniquely customized for you and your unique business. This is why it's really important to pay attention to what's working for you. Take a look at the data, see what kind of content is doing best and resonating best, and then again, do more of that and less of the stuff that isn't. Another thing that's vitally important to understand is that when you're doing this research and you're looking at competitors or colleagues or maybe even influencers with massive followings, is to not necessarily take their strategy and replicate it exactly, because they're at a very different position in regards to their business and their following and their strategy. So what's working for them now is very unlikely what they first did to get them up to that point. They probably changed and evolved and adapted their strategy over time. Probably the most important thing, however, is to understand that yes, the algorithm is important and it is going to influence your strategy moving forward and essentially has control over what type of your content is getting promoted and getting shown to your audience. But at the end of the day, you really need to put your people first. Your customers, your clients, your audience, your followers, whoever it is that you're creating this content for, they need to be placed in the priority position. And perhaps one of the most important but contrarian questions of all that I really need to ask you is Instagram even the right place for you and your business? Whoa, right? But seriously, is your ideal target market present and relevant on Instagram? And does it sort of follow the content marketing strategy or the overall marketing strategy that you want to be deploying? These are important questions because Instagram is an amazing platform with great organic and advertising capabilities, but there's also some really good other options out there, including Facebook and YouTube and good old-fashioned search engine optimization. If the answer is yes, then fantastic, and all of these rules are going to help you out tremendously. If not, well, this might be a good time to take a step back and really make sure. I'm pretty confident that you'll find the answer is yes, simply because Instagram is such a valuable and really widespread platform. But if not, it's a valuable exercise to run to make sure you're on the right track, no matter what marketing strategy you're trying to deploy. The next thing you're going to want to do is check out the video I have linked up right here when it's released next week, which is part of my Instagram marketing series. It's going to walk you through even more powerful Instagram marketing strategies that you can use immediately to up-level your business and upgrade your Instagram marketing game. So make sure to check that out when it's released. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on The Marketing Show.